What's up YouTube, this is your boy Nick here, and today I will be doing another deck profile for you guys, and this is a what I like to call the Yubels Dark World. So yeah, originally this was a Warriors Fiend deck, and I decided to turn it into a full complete Fiend type deck anyway. And so yeah, let's get to the deck profile. So of course, starting it off with a Yubel. So this is basically the boss monster for the deck. So basically with Yubel, she cannot be destroyed in battle. Um, and all the damage that you normally would take, your opponent takes as damage instead. So she's really powerful. And then of course I am doing also one Grapha, Dragon Lore of Dark World. So yeah, with this card, this can be special summon from your hand by sending one Dark World monster from your field back to your hand. So this card is really good. And then I am doing one Gores, the Emissary of Darkness. So with this card, basically when it's special summoned from your hand, you can activate one of its effects. One of them is you can summon one Emissary of Darkness token. I think that's how it is. It says here, when you take damage from a card in your opponent's possession, you can special summon this card from your hand. You must control no cards to activate and to resolve this effect. If summoned this way, activate the appropriate effect based on the type of damage. So basically, if you have no cards on the field, and you take damage, you can summon this card from your hand right away. And depending on what damage you took, you can. If you took battle, now it all basically depends on the type of damage you took. So if you took battle damage, you can summon one Emissary of Darkness token, and its attack and defense points are equal to the amount of battle damage you took. If it's effect damage, then you inflict the same amount of damage to your opponent that you took. So this card is really powerful. And then I am doing one Dark Ruler Hades. So with Dark Ruler, all Fiend type monsters that you control are basically unaffected by spell, trap, and monster effects. So that card's really good. And then I am doing one gold Ruler of Dark World. So with this card, when it's sent from your hand to the grave, you can destroy two of your opponent's monsters and summon this card from your graveyard. And then I am doing one Vice Dragon. So with Vice Dragon is really powerful. Vice Dragon is really good because Vice Dragon, basically you can summon it from your hand when you have no monsters on your field. However, its attack and defense points are cut in half. And then I am doing a Memphis the Infernal General, and yeah, this card's okay, I guess. It's not bad. And then I am doing two Doom Caliber Knights, and then one Braun, Mad King of Dark World. So with Braun, when this card deals battle damage to your opponent, you can discard a card from your hand. And then I am doing a Slate Warrior, which is one of the only flip monsters that I have. So when it's flipped face up, this card gains 500 attack and defense points, and when this card is destroyed by battle, the monster that destroyed it loses 500 attack and defense points. So this card is really good, especially if you have a monster that has at least 3,000, and your opponent has an Xyz monster that has like 3,300 points or whatever. So this card is really good. And then I am doing one Wandering King Wildwind. Just cause it's a really good card. With this card, you can basically you can basically special summon it from your hand if you have a fiend type tuner monster. However, you're not allowed to special summon from the extra deck, but it's still pretty good. And then I am doing one Doomsday Horror, followed by a Mystic Tomato. So with Mystic Tomato, basically you can add a dark monster from your deck that has 1,500 points or less to your hand. So yeah, this card's really good. And then for the Warrior, and then I'm doing Zero Gardener and Ghost Gardener. So with Zero Gardener, basically you take no damage, and all you have to do is just you send it to the grave. With Ghost Gardener, when an opponent's monster declares an attack on one of your monsters, this card takes the hit instead, and that monster and the monster that destroyed it automatically loses 1,000 points. So those are the regular monsters, and for the tuners, I am doing one Dark Resonator, one Clog Resonator, one Flare Resonator, two Flare Resonators. This card, basically, you can raise your life points to the attack points of any monster on the field. One Force Resonator, two Chain Resonator, and a Synchron Resonator. And then I am also doing a Majestic Dragon. And then for my other monsters, I am doing one Absolute King Backjack. So with this card, basically you can win. So let's see let's read its effects. During your opponent's turn, you can banish this card from the graveyard. And obviously this is a quick effect. Excavate the top card of your deck, and if it's a normal trap card, set it to your side of the field. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. That set card can be activated during this turn during this turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can look at the top. You can look at three cards from the top of your deck, then place them on the top of the deck in any order. You can only use the effect of Absolute King Backjack once a turn. So this card is really good. Basically you draw a card. If it's a trap card, normal trap card, you play it face down, and you can also look at the top three cards of your deck and place them in any order you want. So that card is really good. And then of course one Battle Fader. Basically you can just negate. You special summon it from your hand, and you negate the battle and then the battle phase basically. And now for the spells, I am doing one the Gates of Dark World, which is a field spell. So all fiend type monsters gain 300 attack and defense points, and then once a turn you can banish a fiend type monster from your graveyard, and then send a fiend type monster from your hand to the graveyard, and you can draw a card. So this card is really good, really easy. Yeah, nothing major. And then I am doing two Pot of Dualities, and then one Pot of Dichotomy. So with Pot of Duality, basically you excavate the top three cards of your deck, and you can add one to your hand. The remaining two go back to your deck, which will be then shuffled. However, you're not allowed to special summon any monsters during the turn you activate the card. So that card's really good. And then with Pot of Dichotomy, you can basically send three monsters with different names from your graveyard back to the deck, and you draw two cards, basically. And however, you have to skip your battle phase, basically. So yeah. And then I am doing two Scarlet Security. So with this card, basically it can only work with Red Dragon Archfiend, and all spell and trap cards your opponent controls are destroyed, basically. So the card's really good. And then one Red Dragon Vase, which lets you draw two cards from your deck, if you have Red Dragon Archfiend on the field. And however, you can't normal or special summon monsters during the turn you activate the card, and until the end phase of your opponent's turn. So yeah. And then I am doing two Parallel Twister. This card's okay, I guess. It's not that bad. I know that some people are actually using this card, but still it's really good. And then one Rank Up Magic for Utopia, one Resonator Engine, one Polymerization, one Upstart, really great staple. Axe of Despair for for basically for my opponent's monsters, and then 1 lightning blade, 1 book, 1 scapegoat, and 1 fires of doomsday. So with fires of doomsday, basically you can summon out two doomsday tokens, which will allow you to sacrifice them to summon out Yubel, basically. So yeah, that card's really good. And now for the trap cards. So for the trap cards, I am doing 2 red carpet. So basically with red carpet, you can basically if you have a dragon type synchro on the field, you can summon two resonator tuner monsters from your graveyard, basically. So really good, really good. And then I'm doing 1 Curse of Anubis. So this card basically you can change the battle mode of all effect monsters into defense mode, and then lower their defense points to 0 until the end of the turn. So the card's really good. And then 1 Jar of Avarice, 1 Reject Reborn, and then for the mirror, and then I have 3 different mirror forces. I have 1 mirror force, 1 dark mirror force, and 1 radiant mirror force. Then I have Fiendish Chain, really great staple. Shadow Spell, which is a personal favorite of mine, but still really good. 1 Call of the Haunted, 1 powerful Rebirth. Basically, I only use this mainly for the tuner monsters, but still it's really good. And then 1 Royal Decree and then of course Wiretap. So with Wiretap, basically you can negate the activation of your opponent's trap card and shuffle it back into the deck. And now on to the extra deck. So for the fusions, I am doing 1 Dragonite Draco Aquise. So basically, this card is a fusion of a Dragon type Synchro and a Warrior type Synchro. Really good staple. And then I am doing 1 Red Nova Dragon, 1 Dragocytos, Corrupt Another Soul Dragon. So this card can make a second attack, and one of your opponent's monsters' attack points gets cut in half. So this card is really good. And then I have a Majestic Red Dragon. This card basically you can this card's attack points become equal to the total attack points of any monster on the field that has its effects negated. And then I am doing 2 Red Dragon Archfiends, 1 Void Ogre Dragon, 1 Stardust Dragon, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Clear Wing, and obviously, as you guys can tell, this is the alternate art from the Legendary Dragon decks. And then a Gravity Warrior. And for the Xyz monsters, I have 1 Utopia, 1 Utopia Ray, and 1 Utopia Ray V. I don't really use Utopia Ray that much, but I do use Utopia Ray V a lot. So with Utopia Ray V, basically you can detach one of its materials, and you can destroy 1 monster that your opponent controls, and your opponent takes damage equal to that monster's attack points. And when this card is sent to the grave, you can target a 1 Xyz monster in your graveyard and place it and send it back to the extra deck. And then of course 1 Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. Really good staple, really good. And now for the side deck, I am doing 1 Jinzo. Can't really go wrong with Jinzo. And then I am doing 1 the Triple Mercury. So with this card, basically you can change all the monsters on the field to face up attack position, and then you sacrifice 3 monsters in order to summon this card. So basically you need 3 monsters to summon this, and if it's summoned this way, while this card is on the field, all monsters your opponent controls lose attack points equal to their original attack points, and this card basically can make a second attack once per battle phase. So that card's really good. And then I'm doing 2 Plutos, mainly because this card basically has the Galaxy Eye Cypher Dragon effect. Basically, you take control of one of your opponent's monsters, do some crazy stuff with it, And then I am also doing 1 Breaker, the Magical Warrior. For the spells, I am doing 1 Rebellion, which again also has the Galaxy Eye Cypher Dragon effect. You take control of one of your opponent's monsters, do a lot of stuff with it. However, the monster you control with this card, with Rebellion, cannot attack. And then 1 Spell Shattering Arrow, 2 Lightwing Shields for Utopia, and then 1 Chain Summon and a Summoner's R. Summoner's R, basically you can add a high level monster from your deck to your hand. And for the trap cards, I am doing 3 Widespread Ruin, really great staple, and a Compulsory Evacuation Device. And of course I also have my tokens as well. So I have 1 Emissary of Darkness token, and then 2 Attempt tokens, which I use for the Fires of Doomsday spell, and then 4 Scapegoat tokens. And then for the other monsters that I wasn't able to add to the deck, I'm also doing Terra Incarnate and Yubel Ultimate Nightmare. You know, just because they're really powerful, basically. So yeah, that is the Warriors Fiend deck profile. Thank you guys so much for the Yubels Dark World deck profile. Thank you guys so much for watching. And remember to post in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. And remember to subscribe and bell me for more WWE and YuGiOh opening videos. And stay tuned because later on in the next month I will be doing yet another deck profile, and I'll be sure to have more details on it in the future. And on that, this is your boy Nick here, signing out.